Frank Lyga, LAPD officer from '86 to 2014, detective from '94 to 2014, working narcotics primarily my whole career. Eight o'clock in the morning, I responded to a shooting range in Santa Clarita, where I qualified with a Benelli shotgun until noon. I left the shooting range and hooked up with my team in North Hollywood that were conducting a rolling surveillance of a methamphetamine dealer who supposedly had a clandestine laboratory somewhere in North Hollywood or West Valley. The plan was that this female was going to provide a sample of methamphetamine to a UC. Actually, it wasn't an undercover officer, it was an informant. We had a confidential informant involved in that case. And my job was to watch the deal go down. We were there until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It never happened, which is not unusual. At 4 o'clock, we called the UC in and broke. At that point, I turned and was heading back to Hollywood Division to our office to regroup, to set up for another case that evening.
So you're driving in an unmarked
1990 Buick Elite Regal, white, unmarked, no lights, no siren. Equipped with a radio system that had a floor mic, and the microphone itself was in the visor over the left shoulder, off the left side of the windshield. Well, I was alone, but my whole team was responding back to Hollywood. We cleared the investigation, and we were going to regroup back in Hollywood and start another investigation. I was leading the pack going back to Hollywood, which consisted of driving eastbound on Ventura Boulevard to southbound on Cahuenga. I was stopped at a red tri-light at Lancashire and Cahuenga. A few seconds later, I hear rap music. I look to my left. There was a green Mitsubishi Montero, male black with a green jogging suit, unzipped to his chest, and he was looking at me, or looking in my direction. I assumed at the time that he was looking at someone on the sidewalk. So I turned my head and looked to the sidewalk, and no one was there. So he's still looking at me, staring right at me. So I rolled my window down, and I said, "Can I help you?" At which point he responded, "Ain't nobody looking at you, punk motherfucker. Roll that window up, I'll put a cap in your ass."
So he's just staring at you for no reason?
Yeah, just staring at the driver's window for no reason at all.
He didn't feel like he'd been cut off, or was nothing?
Not that I'm aware of. I was just stopped in traffic, and he pulls up alongside of me. And when he said, "Ain't nobody looking at you, punk motherfucker, I'll put a cap in your ass," that never happened to me before. I mean, I'm not a big, super tough, violent kind of guy, but I did look like an Aryan Brotherhood. I have a big mustache, long black hair and a ponytail, wearing a marijuana cap. The only thing I lacked was a lightning bolt on my neck. And I'd never had a one-on-one contest where somebody said that to me like that. And I said, "Excuse me?" And after I said, "Excuse me," then the gang signs came out. Obvious blood gang signs. "I'll put a cap in your motherfucker," and we went on. So I went, "Okay, let's go," right? With no intent to fight him. But I said, "Let's go." Verbal judo. I don't know if you recall verbal judo. We all took verbal judo, how to de-escalate something. And so I says, "Let's go right here. Let's do it now." Because at the time, in the late 90s, the gang members, the South End gangs were transitioning from Monte Carlos. They had the 70s Monte Carlos with the big fenders. They were transitioning to SUVs. And the common practice was they'd pull somebody over in traffic and basically just cut them off and block them off, and they'd jump out of the car and attack them. And I didn't want that to happen. So I said, "Let's go, do it right here." So the light turned green. I pulled forward. He pulled in behind me, and we went through the intersection. He pulled right to the red zone and stopped. And I drove right away. And I'm watching him in the mirror, and he was on the steering wheel, and he was doing one of these deals. It looked like he was going to rip the steering wheel off. And I'm laughing at him, thinking, what an idiot, think I'm going to stop. But it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Cahuenga on a Tuesday afternoon, and traffic sucks. And the 3 lanes of traffic were backed up. We get to the next light at Regal Place. There's a gas station on the northeast corner, businesses on the northwest corner, and there's a freeway on-ramp. Well, when I got there, I was about 4 cars back. The number 1 car in the left turn lane blew the red light, got on a freeway, which is not a big deal. The car's moved forward. The number one car in the number one lane blew the red light and got on a freeway, and the cars moved forward, leaving a space open for me, right next to me. And I'm watching in my mirror, and he's coming. He broke traffic and was literally going in the northbound lane. He's going back and forth in the lanes, weaving through traffic, and he's coming. I was on my radio saying, hey guys, I got a problem. I got a black guy in a green Jeep up here, might have a gun, I need help, thinking it's coming. So again, knowing that gang members had a history of jacking people in cars, I'm not going to be locked in my car. So the first thing I did is unhook my seatbelt. I took my Beretta 9mm out of my holster and put it in my lap, facing the passenger driver's door. And I'm watching him in the mirror, talking on the radio. Hey guys, I got a problem. This guy's coming up fast, might have a gun.
Where your team at this point? Do you know?
Half a mile probably, turns out. We were all coming back from Vineland, basically Vineland and Ventura. And he pulls up alongside of me, because when that car pulled forward and leaving a space next to me, I remember saying to myself, shit, right? And he pulls up alongside of me and slams to a stop, and the truck actually jerked, and he comes across his body with a stainless steel pistol. I thought it was a .45. He leans across the passenger seat like this here and screams, I'll cap you, motherfucker. And I wasn't really afraid of him. I can't say I was afraid of him, but I had no control over my body. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if somebody throws a fast baseball at you, you're going to do one of these deals. Yeah. Well, I couldn't control what I did. I know I couldn't go back because I'm in the front seat of my car. I had a seat. I couldn't go to the right because it's still in line of fire. I couldn't go to the left because I'm at the door. The only place I could go was forward. So I went forward, hit my chest on the steering wheel, took my foot off the brake, and I bridged the gap between me and the car in front of us, which is about 3 foot, 4 foot. And as soon as I bridged the gap, I kind of recovered fairly quickly, and I came up with my gun. Here's the door frame, my window. I came up with my gun over my shoulder backwards, and as soon as I cleared my window frame, I fired around, bang.